All right, they're saying good now? All right, perfect.
Yep.
All right, so you gentlemen ready?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let us do it indeed. Hello everyone and welcome to State of the Realm, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. This week, we've got some recent news to discuss, but we also brought on a guest to get his thoughts on some of the recent change. We had him on 2 years ago, just before Heavensward, so we figured, you know what, let's do that show again, just 2 years later. It's like Final Fantasy XIV's patch cycle, you guys could have seen this one coming. But anyway, I'm one of your hosts, Michael, Mr. Happy Poper. Of course, joining me is Slyh, aka Slythefox, aka Slyh, aka Greyfox, aka you my boy Blue. How you doing, Slyh?
I'm doing pretty good. All the Stormblood prep and everything.
10 days.
Yeah, 10 days.
10.
It'll go by quick because of E3.
Yeah, you think that. You think that, but it never works out that way.
I'm patient. I don't know about you, but I'm
not
fucking patient.
I'm not. But like I said, we did a show 2 years ago where we brought on a guest, and we tortured him endlessly throughout the show with questions he had no interest in answering. And so we figure we'll do the same thing to him again now. He joined us on the show a few months back as well. We got Magickmann on the show tonight. How you doing, Burn?
Oh, man, I'm doing good, Big Daddy. How are you doing?
Every time.
Yeah, boy.
I didn't say it. Slyh would be all over me.
Yeah,
all over me.
Yeah, I know.
I've been on more shows than just 2 years ago. I think we did what, like
2
2 or
months
3
ago.
in the interim.
Yeah.
In the interim there.
Yeah.
But it's good to be back. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
Stormblood, 10 days, X hours. Let's do this. But yeah, things are going good. Quit smoking. I am playing copious amounts of Final.
Smoking? No.
Yeah. We'll skip
No. You'll listen. I'll believe it when we get through a single show without you smoking a cigarette, because that's never happened. So
yeah, well, that's because you always bring up certain topics that just. But I've also been playing copious amounts of Final Fantasy XI, rolled an entirely new character, so we can get to that a little later.
Oh yeah, well, you know, he wants to roast me for that one, huh? All right,
Hey.
well, now that the music's cut down, I think it's good to have you. It's good to have you, Bert.
Thank you. It's always good to be
You know what my favorite part about having you on is I get to watch Slyh cry at least once during the show, just in laughter.
Always fucking happens. Never fails.
Every time it's just, I'm done.
We have fun. The three of us have fun.
Yeah, I told people earlier, expect a show with a lot of laughing tonight.
Oh, geez, now the damn pressure's on. We gotta figure out how to make it fun.
It's all right, Bern. If we don't say anything funny, I'm sure someone can laugh at one of our three faces. You know,
yeah, well, they are funny looking, so that works.
Yeah, that's good.
We are some weird looking dudes when you think about it. Like, look at we're not like, we don't fit the nerd in the basement look, the typical stereotypical look.
Look at this. What is this?
Yeah, but you're like a weird neck beard. Like, it's not a neck beard. It's a chin turning into your neck fuzzy. I don't know what the hell it is. It's not. I would not call you a neck beard. You grow neck hair. You are not a neck beard.
Yeah,
and Sly's like regular looking dude, and we just don't fit. We don't fit. Where's your tie though, Slyh? Do you have a tie on? Because I'm feeling.
No.
You're feeling tie.
So we're
just a shirt, Yeah, no tie.
We're now on a level of friendship where you don't have to dress up for me. There's no more romance. I see how it's gonna be. All right.
I don't know. He's looking pretty good. I'm the one who's most slobbish today. In a sense, like I just got this T-shirt on. He's got a nice shirt with the chain. You got the collar pop.
Always got to pop the collar.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so it's good to have you, but I think before we can get into some of the recent stuff, we like to check in on you and see how it's like being alive in Final Fantasy, because nobody believes it. Nobody believes you're alive. That's another common topic of the show.
Every stream I sit in here, is Bird still alive? You still play Final Fantasy? Bitch, I never stopped playing Final Fantasy 14. Bye, Felicia.
That's a... Oh, no. No. I apologize to everyone in advance for the bye, Felicia, because nobody wants that. It's all right. So
I did.
Slyh, myself, and some of our other co-hosts, Ethis and Mary, of course, we spent the last several weeks talking about predictions and reactions to all the information that's come up. And while we're going to get into the Media Tour in particular as one of our first topics,
right.
I kind of want to just pick your brain about a few different things regarding what we've seen, because
all right,
we haven't got. I mean,
good.
it's not like you're someone who tweets out all your thoughts, and we have an idea of it ahead of time. So it's a mystery for Slyh and myself. What you're thinking, what's going through your mind with what you're seeing with Stormblood, where your heart lies right now. So, okay. So I'll give you a chance to talk about anything in particular you want first.
All right. So from a global perspective, like just nothing very specific, I've been struggling with my. Am I going to take my Black Mage main from 60 to 71st, or am I jumping straight onto Red Mage, which anybody that's watched any XIV Reborn episode or even State of the Realms that I've been on knows that is near and dear to my heart. Red Mage, Final Fantasy XI, years and years and years and years. Was worried about the implementation just because of how support structured it's been in the past, and I knew it couldn't be that support structured in Final Fantasy XIV, but there were some things they could do with it. All in all, I'm very happy with the way it seems to be implemented. I think it's a nice compromise between still letting it feel like a red mage, or at least mostly a red mage. Little lackluster on the healing stuff. I would have liked just a little bit more, but there's some things going on with White Mage that I understand why the Red Mage might not have the boosts I would have expected there. All in all, I'm really pleased with it. I think it's a nice marriage of the Final Fantasy XIV system with the idea of a Red Mage type character. So I'm happy with it. I decided yesterday that on day 1, 16th, morning of the 16th, it's turning to Red Mage and running to 70.
Oh, wow.
I'll do Black Mage second. I'm gonna use the story to push Red Mage. That's how excited I am about the role and how much I loved it in the past. And just to celebrate that love, that's what I've been doing in the meantime. I have not played Final Fantasy XIV just more than half an hour on any given day just to keep up on certain tasks. I've been playing a ton of Final Fantasy XI, and even though I stopped playing that after Wings of the Goddess just had first launched. I still own all of the expansions after that, except the most recent, the Adeline, Seekers of Adeline stuff. But I just totally rolled a new Red Mage, and just now I want to see how much of this I can do solo. And right now, before the show here, I was working on Chains of Promathia stuff, so having a lot of fun with it. Getting my Red Mage on, but that's where I'm going to start with it. I'm very happy with the way they've implemented it, at least from everything I've seen. I didn't have the hands-on you did, although it seemed like in your videos that I watching you in chat when you stream daily, it seemed like you got the feeling that they implemented this as close as they could, staying true to a Red Mage within the given systems of a Realm Reborn.
Now, we know you're drinking the Red Mage Kool-Aid. That's pretty fucking good Kool-Aid to drink.
It's Ver Kool-Aid. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's Ver Kool-Aid.
It's Ver Kool-Aid.
That's my I'm done, and we're only 10 minutes in. I don't usually have an I'm done, but that's my I'm done.
This is Ver Kool-Aid.
But I wanted to get your thoughts on Samurai, because like everybody and their mom is drinking that Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And I just can't do it. Just yet, because I have predictions. I have predictions on what's going to happen, what I think is going to happen to it within patch 4.1 or probably earlier than that. But I want to get your take on it.
I was not incredibly. I was really big on the fence of. I'm more with you, Slyh, than with Happy on some of this. Samurai, to me, I was disappointed. So disappointed to see it in a DPS role that it really started just knocking it down for me. And then we talked about this on a previous show too, where they were talking about, well, we didn't feel we needed tanks and healers in this particular expansion because people didn't really play them in the last one. Okay, that's dumb. Please stop. You're flooding more DPS into there. I'm not happy with the way Samurai is being implemented now. It's more of I don't have a particular gripe against it. I get it. I understand it. The mechanics look fine. I'm more of a, I'm going to wait and see on this one because I don't know. Right now, it looks ridiculous as far as damage goes. So expect a nerf almost immediately, I would assume, for some abilities.
Thank you.
But I'm more of a wait and see on Samurai than a flat out disappointment at the moment.
And that's my school of thought. And that's why I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid, because I'm expecting a fucking nerf before Omega hits. And so...
Listen.
Go ahead.
Listen.
Go ahead.
We'll get into it in a few minutes with our first topic, but
okay.
That job better bring the big dick DPS. All right, I want to see those.
Well, I mean, it has to initially because it's got no damn utility.
Goad.
Okay.
That doesn't count for anything. Ninja's mad salty about that too. Ninja's like, they used to love me. What about?
Although I agree with something you said, Hap, in that this is the way Monk should have been implemented.
Yeah, this is the idea of Monk, but they just said, never mind. They complained about Monk utility. If we do it again, they'll say we never listened, so we'll just do it with the new job instead.
Right.
And we'll just tune it that way from the beginning. But I gotta ask, he's talking about the Red Mage Kool-Aid. He's talking about the Samurai Kool-Aid.
Ver Kool-Aid. I'm sorry, I'm not going to talk about the
Kool-Aid
unless you give it the correct title.
Ver.
All right,
Ver
all right.
Kool-Aid.
So, but your old main's Black Mage, man.
It is.
So, I mean,
I stuck through. I stuck with Black Mage even after the less than stellar performance they had through all the updates through Heaven's Word. No, I still love my Black Mage. I still will cap it at 70, no problem. I'm just too much of a Red Mage guy. I wanted that from day one. I didn't hide that. You know, before it even launched, Happy, you and I were talking about, you were Bard, I was Red Mage, and Final Fantasy, that's what it's going to be in Final Fantasy 14, blah, 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 blah. Oh, it's not there. Oh, so hopefully someday it'll be there. I'll be a Black Mage until then. Now it's
Those
here,
are literally
so
his words.
The until then happened.
Yeah. Now is then. Well, 10 days from now is then. So the future is then, but now is now, the past. You get following all of that?
Time is stupid.
Yeah, well, you know, daylight saving specifically is stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of the information we're talking about now, potencies, nerfs, whatever, it comes from the hands-on that people had in North America, that people had in Europe with the Media Tour recently.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know how Media Tour events work, or have you guys been, I know we got Sly, I don't know how many conventions you've been to, TwitchCon and FanFest. Burn, you've been to a handful of others.
I wish it were just a handful. I have logged a lot of flight hours to conventions, and not only that, private demos where, you know, for instance, WildStar, I spent 3 days on the West Coast in a very private WildStar thing. So yeah, you're playing maybe not the most up-to-date builds. There's all kinds of asterisks on what you're doing at those events, even by the time you're able to drop the footage to people. Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the key point here. So Yoshi P had a stream on Nico Nico. I believe it was called NGC, whatever the event was. I don't know if it was some sort of conference. I'm assuming that's what the C stands for. And he was speaking about, you know, the information people have been dissecting from the Media Tour and all the feedback they've been getting, especially regarding White Mage. And he said that build that they played on the Media Tour was from late April. And it was mid-May to late May when they played it. So we had already made changes that weren't present in that build, on top of the fact that we've made changes since they got to play even that build, so even more changes. And a lot of people freaked out at that idea. Like, that's a basic concept of how you present a game in a media build. You approve it and stabilize it weeks in advance, and you don't just stop developing the game after that. But everyone's like, "What? That wasn't even accurate. Why even bother?"
Now, in all the media tour videos that have come out on YouTube, yours, like everybody who's done videos from the media tour, I kind of feel like nobody heard "Nothing is final." Like that shit just went one ear out the other. Nothing is final. And we've even when we went over to tooltips, nothing is final. We at least said that like 20 times within that episode of Stay in the Realm. Yet people still freaked out.
Well, and here's the thing, too, though, and Happy, you're going to have to answer this one. At the event, they typically tell you how old that build is. And I've had builds at events that, whether they were private or in the context of a convention, that are anywhere from a week old to 2 months old. What surprises me here is if they did not tell you, obviously you knew the disclaimer on this is not final. You know, that's just a given, and they probably said that. But typically, they usually say, by the way, you're playing a build that is 3 weeks old. And even if you ask a specific question about something, they may say, we actually have already made a change to that. It's just not in this build yet, and we're not ready to release the details on the change we made. If you guys, as the press there, didn't get any then I find that a little bit weird, that you guys were only finding out after the fact how old the build was, because typically that is something they bring up. That's really the only problem I have with the whole thing, is that you guys should have known so that your coverage could have said, not just, hey, this hasn't launched yet, this stuff may change, but hey, this stuff may have already changed, and it could be because feedback was already given or feedback at the press event. We were playing a build that had already been 2 or 3 weeks old, and then nobody would have been, this wouldn't have been a surprise in a Yoshi P interview. I find it weird that they didn't call that out to you guys and gals while you were there.
Well, I mean, we kind of all just knew that it wasn't none of us were surprised when he came out and said, this is not the most recent build, because we know, like, everyone there just kind of knew that kind of thing. They were more focused on making sure we understood that the tooltips were the big thing that was, like, you know, the translation wasn't complete on them, or it wasn't the most recent translation. So they did have, you know, this isn't the most recent, but it was more about specific aspects, more so than it was the entire build. We just all kind of knew, like, obviously they didn't just pull this build off of a server yesterday. We just all kind of knew that, and it was just kind of knowledge. So when people freaked out about it, we're like, yeah, no, that sounds about right. And all of us were so focused on developing.
Normally though, they will tell you how old the build is for specific reasons, because if you ask a question about something or feedback is given, it saves them time from having to address it by saying, oh, we've already gotten that feedback and we've already addressed it. You guys just aren't seeing it yet. And some people in chat, I don't know if they were like Skylar. I don't know if Skylar was at the event or not. I would believe so based on the comment, said we knew it was at least a month old. Okay, and then I'm totally fine with that. If they gave you some indication of, hey, this is a couple of weeks to a month old and the people testing it knew it, I don't have any problem with this. This is par for the course, although I can understand why it would be surprising to somebody that's never done a preview event and it wasn't specifically called out in the content because you guys may not have been supplied with, hey, by the way, this is a few weeks old.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe, like, everyone's saying the event was a waste of time. It's like, I don't think people understand what the point of the event isn't so you can go come up with the rotations and min-max all the jobs before it comes out. It's so we can show you, like, the gauges and the mount speeds and the new UI and stuff like that. And it seems like that point also, like, in one ear, out the other. Everyone's just freaking out about it just not being final. But if anything, I've also seen the other side of it.
I would hope it wasn't final. There was some shit in some of your videos and some other people's videos that I was like, that has to be changed. That has to be changed.
Man, I wonder which job that is. Anyway, it's not Dragoon, Sly. I can promise you that. Dragoon, I don't know if you saw, FS did finally put out his Dragoon video.
Yeah, he put out his video, and, like, I'm still on board. I mean, nothing really has changed with Dragoon. I'm slightly impressed with it. It kind of did the whole ground up thing. So, like, I have no qualms with it whatsoever.
Yeah, Dragoon stayed pretty in line with what it was before. And I think anyone who liked it before will like it still. But it was just so weird seeing people's reactions. Then you have the other side where people are like, no, it's good it's not final, because here's all of my feedback on everything.
Right?
It's like, no, that means be louder. It means they're still changing. Of course they're still changing things. What do you think? They just stopped at some point? I don't know. I just don't understand the thought of like that there's any more or less reason to see what you saw and then provide feedback, or to be louder about it because of
Squeenix already took my money. It should be final by now. Damn it.
Yeah.
Well, they almost didn't take my money. I told you about that, Happy.
Yeah, that was
Ooh.
They didn't want your money.
My bank put a block on it and called and was like, is this fraudulent? And I was like, you better put that charge through right now. I'll get my collector set PNC. You're eBaying one for me, baby. I was like, no, put it through. It's
call
not
the
fraud.
bank and tell
what do
them
you need? My Soch? I don't care.
It's all right. I got an email like 2 days ago. They sold 1,500 of them left anyway.
Right? Yeah, I saw that too.
They must have made a lot of them because the ones from Heavensward sold out pretty quick. So they probably just made a shit ton more this time. They also made the Steam Collector's editions this time, the physical collectors.
Yep.
Which pretty much now eliminates any real reason to not get the game on Steam, because that was like the only remaining reason was you couldn't get that, and now you can even get that. So one job that's been talked about a lot since the Media Tour.
I wish they would have done from day one of these launches, because I play on Steam, but that means I have to buy my collector set and then buy a regular one on Steam so that I can continue to play on Steam. Now they've done this, which is great, but I had already pre-ordered my collector set by that point and pre-ordered my standard one on Steam. So hopefully they will have that from day one pre-orders when 5.0 comes out.
All right, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves now. That's like we're going 2 years into. That's like when people start asking you, so what jobs do you think are coming out?
So what jobs? Yeah, let's put it down right now, 2 years in advance.
Blue Mage confirmed.
Yeah, Blue Mage would be my guess for 5.0. Yeah. I think we'll see an original job. I think they'll do Blue Mage and then a completely OG one. That's
Blue Mage and Chemist right here.
There you go. That's not happening. But anyway. I'll just write that off as you only had one guess. I'll save you the embarrassment right there when we come back 2 years from now. One of the big jobs that's been making a big splash with the Media Tour is, and that's not a Fluidora joke, is White Mage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's regardless of people not really getting their hands on it in any sort of reasonable content and being told completely and repeatedly that it's not final. This job, I've never seen, even Astro's launch, which was atrocious for Astro, was not even remotely the same degree to which White Mage has received every emotion imaginable at this point. And we got to hear one change they've made specifically due to the consolidated feedback on the official forums. One change they've confirmed. That's not the only change. It's the only one they talk about. Cure 2 now 100% has a chance to proc a Lily.
With that, Mike, are your tits calm yet?
I mean, mine were never that bad in the first place because I knew that.
But you kind of ripped it a new one when we talked about it.
Yeah, you did.
I
watched the show. You kind of tore into it.
I tore into the concept of it, but I did say in a bubble it looks bad, but in certain applications it could be okay. Whereas this is even still absolutely doesn't address the issue that lilies are not an interesting gameplay decision, which is the largest issue I have, is that confession stacks and lilies are not a fun nor interesting nor intuitive design in the first place. But if you can make it so that you can integrate them more frequently and they're rewarding to use and there's a reason why you'll use 3 of them on a certain thing, then it's a little better. That we're still not seeing with Cure 2 having a 100% chance to proc a Lily, because good fucking chance getting me to cast Cure 2 on you while I'm busy spamming Holy. But
so what would your solution be? Because we've seen a lot of solutions on the forum. Pretty much making every heal proc a Lily, making every ability proc a Lily. Take a shit, you proc a Lily.
I think the big thing is the way lilies are procced should probably be expanded, but that's still not the core concern that I would have personally. It's that they do not provide an interesting gameplay decision. You're never going to be like, hold on, I'm not going to assize till I have 3 lily stacks. That's never a decision you'll make. You just be like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to assize at the same point every fight because it's when it's most optimal. And then if I have the lilies and it comes back up faster, whoop-de-fucking-do. So I think the idea is that activating them should be something you have to consider. And ultimately, by making lilies provide some sort of empowerment when you expend them, other than cooldown reduction, increased healing, increased cast speed for like 10 seconds after they're activated. Something. They need to do something other than cooldown reduction after they're activated and give you a period of power that makes you feel good about having used them at a specific time instead of just whatever the fuck. I had 1 lily, I had 3 lilies, I had whatever. Cooldown reduction's not all that important. So make them do something else because I'm not interested at all in cooldown reduction. That's like the spear is fucking cooldown reduction. There's a reason why everyone says it's one of the worst cards if you pretty much can only use it on yourself reliably. So pretty much the same mentality. I'd like to see activating it, leave them active for 10 seconds, give you a bonus of healing, spell speed, whatever. And then also, if you're going to keep the cooldown reduction component, make it so that for the entire duration, anything you activate benefits from that cooldown reduction, not just the first ability that's activated. At least if everything's benefiting, then you can use it as a, like, holy shit, everything's going out, it's going out stronger, it'll come back faster. It makes sense. It's a point of power that can be used.
Burn, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you, Hap. I would be happy with even just a step in that direction instead of popping it and you have 10, 15 seconds and these are the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different abilities that can be impacted by whatever stat the lilies are going to give or even just the cooldown reduction. I think even just a step in the right direction would just be giving white mages at least the choice of when to use it or not. For instance, you're going to pop 2 abilities that you don't really care about the off-global cooldown for those particular abilities, but you happen to have 3 lilies up, and so as soon as you hit that first one, boom, you're done. Your lilies are gone, when in an ideal situation, you may have used that 15 seconds from now. You just needed to use these abilities in the interim to get there. I would be happy with that. A start giving white mages the choice of what ability to use it on rather than just the first one I hit, thus being forced into using the one you wanted to use it on first. Also, the Cure 2 thing, it helps. Smart healers can now use that knowledge of 100% proc to kind of weave into when the lilies proc to a certain extent. So it does help a little bit. A smart white mage can bank on, I'm at 2 lilies, I'm going to do a couple of things here. I'm going to pop a Cure 2 for that 3rd lily and then pop Assize or whatever you want to use. So there is a little bit of thought there. I really don't like, I hate when it's damage related. I really hate when it's healing related, anything that's random. I just don't think naturally a healer should have to rely on being really good at their job by a lucky proc.
Astro's gotten this far, man.
Oh, you're right. I mean,
you took the words right out of my mouth.
It's just a personal thing. I really don't like that. On a damage thing, on healing, it's even worse. Like, would you be acceptable with a tank having a provoke that relies on a proc or an RNG of some type before it actually worked or did what it was supposed to in a meaningful way? No. So then why would you be okay with somebody dropping a heal and, hey, if I get a heal, we're going to beat this raid. If I don't get the proc, we're fucked. We're assed out because the other healer is dead and the black mage is in the middle of a cycle and can't throw me any mana. I love that ability, by the way. Love that. My black mage is going to love just tossing mana to bitches. You get mana. You get mana. Everybody gets mana.
Mana to bitches. Is that like a, is that a new charity organization in Eorzea? Mana to bitches.
I don't like the idea of building a class that encourages you through its gameplay to play it in a way that you would otherwise play it had the lilies not existed. Like, you would not be that dependent on Cure 1 and Cure 2. to that extent, you're forcing a dependency into skills that intelligent healers wouldn't really use except for one-off little situations here and there. So I'm happy with the Cure 2 change. I'm sure this isn't going to be the only change. I can't imagine this being the only change. And happy, I'm with you. The best thing would be to, make it some type of power up for the white mage across the board, or even a buff to the team or something. But I'd be happy with a step in the right direction of at least let me choose when it gets triggered, regardless of when I trigger certain abilities that might automatically consume them as it stands today.
But we're kind of focusing more on the lilies, and that's pretty much the main thing. One of the main problems people had with this.
Well, that and the confession stuff. So
and the confessions too. There are a lot of other issues people had on the forums that kind of added to the baby rage. And that's really what I'm calling. I mean, half of it was constructive criticism, and I'll take that. Any constructive criticism that moves the job in a positive direction, I'm all for. But when it's just mindless baby rage at some of the smallest things, and sorry,
listen, as someone who wants to play Monk, the 10 potency loss that's not final per weapon skill is something I've been dealing with, because Monk felt really strong when I played it. And the 10 potency loss is like, they ruined my job!
A few of the concerns. One, mainly that White Mage kind of lost its identity. Some losing abilities outright, and then losing abilities to the role skill system.
Yeah.
Valid feedback. Totally valid.
I think so.
I am gonna say
Don't do it.
From a simplistic standpoint, it just sounds like you're mad because Astro and Scholar got more toys than you.
They didn't just get more toys. White Mage had some of its toys. Have you ever
they got some toys taken away.
Imagine,
they got toys taken away.
Like FGP came and stepped on some of their toys.
Yeah.
It's like when Dill Pickles was born. They started giving Tommy shit to Dill, and it's just like we love him more now. He came after you. He's our little Astro. Scholar came after you. He's our little Scholar. But fuck you, White Mage. Here, Protect. We're gonna need that Stone Skin. You're too old for this shit anyway. Stone Skin 2. You're too old for this shit too anyway.
And you know what? And I'm Sly. I'm not discounting the point. It's a totally valid point that there's a section of the White Mage audience that is just jealous of Astrologian and everybody. And fine, okay. Point conceded. There's definitely a portion of the audience that is in that. I just think there's a certain danger when you already had to answer the question of why didn't you add a healing job to the expansion or a tank job to the expansion. So you're still relying on 3 healing jobs for your 4.0 Stormblood expansion. And now you've kind of pissed off the people that do 1/3 of those jobs to the point that they are honestly considering, should I change to another healer? Should I change to something else? Should I deal with White Mage? There's a consideration going on, and you're banking on them staying a healer in 4.0 to the point that you added DPS only jobs. I just think it's a dangerous ground to kind of start stepping on like that.
Another point, and another simple point, goes back to what we were originally talking about with the media tour. 1, nothing was final. That's why I feel like some of this rage is kind of...
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Okay. I mean, we only said it like 200 times.
I don't believe him.
That's why I kind of feel like some of this rage was a little bit of blind rage, because they didn't get the fact that, this isn't the final job. Hell, you haven't even gotten your hands on the job. You're pretty much shitting on it on paper because you still haven't played it yet.
You want to talk about shit on paper? I'll give you some info, some on paper info.
Thumbs down to Mr. Happy videos that he hasn't even put out yet. It's the internet, man.
Man, you want to hear some crazy shit about on paper changes? Paladin is like 100 on paper DPS, like potency per second ahead of the other 2 tanks.
Yeah. Again, nothing is fucking final. We don't know We don't know for a fact that Paladin might be a little bit underwhelming in terms of all its flash. We don't know, but it looks good on paper. And at the same time,
good on paper.
It looks really fucking good on paper. Like, everything sounds great, but only a few people have touched a past build, which means it's the point is pretty much moot. I just feel like everyone needs to contain the calamity that is your memories. Just calm your tits. Calm your tits. Once you get your hands on it, then, kind of go all out on your rage. But until then, all due respect, shut the fuck up.
I think it's good that people are providing some feedback, though. And it's good to see that they've directly said that the feedback from that forum post is leading to some of their design decisions. That's very rarely happened before.
It's good, but even still, knowing what they did, knowing that nothing, like, everything's going, like, already gone through changes from the media tour anyway.
Yep.
If they didn't make any changes, you were asking the devs within 2 weeks to change a job that took, I don't know how long, to develop this particular trait or skill within the job.
I don't know. I felt like White Mage just sat down and said, all right, we need a fucking job UI for this. Anyone? The Lilies? What do they do? All right, whatever.
See, I don't main White Mage, but I do have a level cap White Mage for queuing faster and shit like that. So, but I could tell you, if I was maining White Mage, I'd start hitting F5 now. Like, when are the patch notes? When are the patch notes? When are they gonna be there? Because I can certainly understand some of the concern. And I'm sorry, you may think, while it is a fair point, Sly, you may think, okay, yeah, some of these guys are just bitching because they didn't get new toys or whatever. Isn't that the point of an expansion? Like, how is my job growing? What are my new toys? I'm spending the money to go and do this. I'm probably not going to change jobs because I've invested so much time in this particular job. You want the new toys, and there is a certain amount of valid disappointment at not getting even decent new toys. These are like, Goodwill toys for the White Mage.
It's such a baby fucking argument, though. I feel like it's childish to a certain extent.
To a certain extent. Some people compose themselves well, and some people don't compose themselves well. It's a matter of what side of the fence you land on. Because you could provide feedback on something without losing your fucking mind.
Yeah. Well, obviously.
And that's why I feel like 50% of the forums have done. They've lost their fucking minds. And it's nothing constructive. It's just, the things you said, the things both of you said, were valid. There's a difference between that and fuck this delete White Mage.
Right.
I don't like that. I hate those memes so much. They're so unoriginal.
Delete White Mage, delete White Mage, delete Black Mage.
They're so unoriginal. It's just like, I don't have anything clever to say, so delete it.
Yeah, I understand you putting it in a professional manner, but I hesitate to jump on the, you don't have, you can't be jealous of somebody else's new toys. You paid for the expansion. You've been investing the time. You've been investing the sub. You want to see your job get some new toys too and get some fun and interesting toys.
They got Thin Air. That's a great toy.
Even if their only gripe was I'm disappointed at the toys that I got, that's still a valid gripe. How you word it, different story, but that's just me, maybe.
I'll put this into a little bit more perspective. Had Dragoon been in this situation, would I be disappointed?
You'd be baby crying all over the fucking place. And
fuck
I feel like that's Ethis.
Ethis has been crying over fucking King Flurry. That is his thing.
It's been 3 shows in a row, King Flurry.
3 shows in a row. King Flurry. He just fucking breaks out in tears. But had this been Dragoon, I would be a little bit disappointed. 2, I would have faith knowing that they would eventually fix it. I know I've seen how Astro has evolved from inception to where it is now. I have faith.
By 4.4, you'd actually be like, I wouldn't be surprised if Dragoon was underpowered, and this is if White Mage ends up launching underpowered. By 4.4, they'll just give you the balance. That's all. They'll just give you a balance card. Be like, all right, shut the fuck up. Now you've got the balance too, bitch.
And 3, like goad. You'll be utility.
And 3, some of the other DVS have what I consider better toys. I'm not fucking jealous. I'm fine. You know what? Give Samurai all the potency, like all the hell. I don't give a damn. I'm still gonna play good.
And don't give them a positioning requirement either.
No, they do have positional requirements. It's just
they do.
It's not for damage. It's for Kenki.
Gotcha.
If you're not in the right position, you don't generate Kenki with some weapon skills.
Gotcha.
Which is pretty bad because you want a lot of Kenki.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, a lot of the points valid. Some of them just childish in my opinion.
All right.
And y'all can hate. Fuck y'all. I don't care.
Lol. Yeah. So hopefully we get a little bit more info.
Dragoon.
They actually made
pretty much.
They actually made another post on that same consolidation thread earlier, confirming what he said about the Lily thing over at Nico Nico Chokagi, which was it was NCG, not NGC Chokagi, pretty much is what it was. And then talking about how they're still looking through that thread for more feedback. So continue to post in it. So if you got more White Mage feedback, post it. Just
be nice about it.
So we're gonna get a
professional.
So Happy, are we gonna get a monthly White Mage buff?
Yeah, no, we got the monthly monk buff like all throughout Heavensward. So now we need the monthly White Mage buff.
Yeah,
I can't wait. That job by 4.4, man. That job and like all their buttons are gonna be Benediction, a single target holy, an AOE holy, and they're just gonna be gods. Like it's gonna happen. But like Cure 1 and Cure 2 are gonna increase damage dealt by 10% on anyone they fucking heal. It's like, yeah, now you want to cast Cure 1 and Cure 2 to get some lilies now, don't you? You fucking right, you do. We even got monthly Astro buffs too, and then 4.4 and then 3.4 happened, and they were like, yeah, we went a little over the top there, just teensy bit. I actually have a feeling that balance in the 3 weeks before we got it, I have a feeling that balance had its potency nerfed, because when I look at the job preview video, I'm feeling pretty certain the job preview video is actually a more recent build than what we played. Just seeing the way that we got to see some abilities work and the way that they were kind of shown working in the videos. And one of them is with Astro, somebody noticed that they got pulled an enhanced Royal Road, which is 150% right now. And they noticed it was 200%. So in the job preview. So I have to think that balanced natural power would probably be brought down, but you could bring it back up to its old power on a single person or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. I have a feeling that the balance is not still 20%. Okay. If it is, Jesus fucking Christ, stop it. All right. That card is out of control. It literally has created astlogs. Man.
Well, good thing nobody's going to be playing White Mage anymore.
Oh, no, someone says
I couldn't resist.
Someone says it was extended, not enhanced, so I'm wrong. The 200% was how long it lasted, not its potencies. That makes sense. It's kind of confusing because it's at 150% for me when the other one happened. Feels bad.
That's when you need to be doing your fact checking.
Fact checking. We're not even talking about Red Mage right now.
Oh,
he just had to throw it in.
About Red Mage, always. Watch me hate it too. Oh, I'll be fucking heartbroken. I'll be so heartbroken. I'll be like, this shit sucks.
Delete Red Mage.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like if you just see a Twitter with just a picture of me hanging from my ceiling fan, you'll know what happened.
Why would you put that on Twitter though?
Well, because how would I do that, by the way? I guess I got to think about that one.
Wait, what do you mean you
have to
think
events,
about
I don't think that would work. Oh, I'd be so upset.
Red Mage
I'd be
sucks.
so upset if I hate it.
Let me take a selfie. Now, I don't like that he said he has to think about it now.
He's really thinking.
No, I'd be so upset. No, those pictures are not actual boxes. Those are prints. So they're like,
mini posters.
Foot, yeah. Breaker and all that stuff. Somebody in chat asking.
Okay. All right. So the next thing we have are early access details. I actually don't feel like we really need to go over those all that much. At this point, if you want them, go read it. Like, there's a full post for every type of early access, pre-order, whatever, on how to redeem it and make sure that it's working and everything. So go there. But
the tip that we should give you is go to the Mog Station, look at your service stuff. Please make sure you have a circle in the early access Stormblood line under whatever system you bought or pre-ordered the game for. If it's not there, you haven't done things right. Go follow the post, and you ain't going to get your key when you need it. So that's the big thing, I think, is if you haven't, go check on the Mog site, just Mog Station. Just make sure you have a circle for Stormblood early access. If you did, you're good. You're fine right now. Just hold steady for a little while longer. If it's not there, you missed a few steps that you can take care of right now.
PS4 doesn't get a circle, though. They won't get it till the 16th.
Yeah. They'll get it on the day of early access.
Yeah. But I think I kind of want to take this time. Early access is in 10 days, as the title of the show, implies. And I kind of want to hear everyone's early access plans, because I don't know who took off Friday and Monday. I don't know who's planning on playing for how many hours.
Friday and Monday.
Well, I mean Saturday, Sunday. I'm just assuming, general weekend days, not
just Friday and Monday.
Not traditional work days. Saturday, Sunday aren't traditional work days, so I just kind of assume, you work that 9 to 5, 5 days a week, then you take Friday. See, but Burn, you gotta take off from family too, so it's a little bit different. You're just like, oh, you're hungry, huh? Well, I'm level 69, so shut the fuck up. All right, just let me finish this.
So we now realize that Mike is going to be a horrible fucking parent. He is going to be fucking terrible.
No, I'm imitating Burn, and he's not countering it. He's just looking at me like, don't tell them. Don't tell them how I do that.
All right, so I guess I'll go first then, since I've been called out. So I took off. I have my day job, and I also do the editor-in-chief stuff for mmobomb.com. So that's basically 2 full-time jobs that I got to accommodate something like launch. So from my day job, I have taken off the 15th, the 16th. I'm off the 17th and the 18th for the weekend. I've taken off the 19th, the 20th, and the 21st. So all the way up through the actual launch of the game. Now, why did I take off the 15th? Because I got to get some sleep that day. I got to center myself for a 5 a.m. start the following morning. And I don't have time to be worried about work and stuff. On the MMO Bomb side of things, I'll still be assigning stories and proofreading and, doing that stuff, but it'll be interspersed with, all right, I got to take a break from Final Fantasy right now, so I got to do that. So yeah, 5 days off of actual work overlapping the weekend, which my boss was like, you never take vacation, because I'm real OCD when it comes to scheduling. I'm very detail oriented and making sure my schedules for anything I do are very just organized. So he was like, you, in the 7 or 8 years that I've worked at this particular company, he's like, you have never taken a midweek vacation. What are you doing? And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to answer that question. I'm not going to tell you the answer to that question. So yeah, I'm just taking an odd vacation. On the family side of things, I bought all 3 kids and my wife season passes to Kennywood, which is the big amusement park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And so they will be handed cash by daddy, their season passes, and they've just finished school. My oldest son, right. My oldest son is done with high school already for his sophomore year. They're done for the year. My other 2 children, they will be finished on the 12th. So they will all be out of school, and mommy will be taking them to Kennywood most of those days, provided the weather holds up. On the mom side of things, because gotta get mom. Obviously, mom plays. My wife plays Final Fantasy as well, so she'll be dabbling in and out. But there may or may not have been some jewelry purchased. I don't know. you know, to facilitate the whole process, as it were. And in the meantime, Final Fantasy XI, playing it up until then and still going into 14 just to do my spot checks. By the way, something that fucking irritates the hell out of me about 14 still. Could we please just not threaten to demolish my house when my sub has never lapsed? Come on. I never go into my damn house, like, ever, so I'm constantly getting those emails every 40 days or whatever that I have 10 days to go into my damn house. If you're collecting my money every fucking month, Squeenix, don't threaten to destroy my house. It shouldn't matter if I log in or go into my damn... You're getting my sub money every month.
At least they email you.
It's just a little bit. Yeah, but still.
Imagine if they didn't. And they still... Yeah, it's so fun. So what I've learned is that in the last 2 years, you opened up a second like bank account and just accrued like every paycheck, like 4% of it, and put it in that and said, this is the Stormblood Relief Fund.
That would be true, except for those binders you see there, Happy. So those, the gold binders are Opus 1. One binder is the complete standard Opus 1 set with all the promos.
For everyone who doesn't know what Opus is, that's the Final Fantasy TCG.
Right. The second gold binder is the entire Opus 1 foil set, including all the advertising and promos. The black binders are the standard and foil complete sets of Opus 2. And the red binders are for Opus 3, which I already got the starter decks because I ordered them from England. So no, I don't have any money left, but I've got full Opus sets, baby, and boxes and boxes of duplicates.
So I mean, but that money didn't come out of the Stormblood Relief Fund, so I don't.
He has gold hidden around the city. All he has to do is go dig it up. That's all.
Yeah, it's like Animal Crossing where you plant the money in the ground.
Well, I tried being like, I didn't want to buy jewelry, so I tried going up to the wife and I was like, you helped me out those couple of days so I can get my red mage, because 50 to 60 is going to be a little bit of a grind. I don't got any story to do. I can't really take off on my red mage until I hit 60. So you help me out for those couple of days. Maybe I'll give you a little something. And she was like, you're going to give that to me anyway.
Wow.
So, no. And she was like you would tell me no. And I was like, yeah.
Damn, I didn't know you actually lived in Balmung in real life.
I was like, she was like, you're just going to, like, you would tell me no during those days. Oh, I'm up here. Nope. And she's right. So I had to buy jewelry. Yeah,
I like how disappointed he looks that it came down to that. I tried to hold
the deed for ransom, and she was like, you're not going to say no. Fuck off.
He said deed, not D, by the way, just to be clear.
D. Tried to hold the D.
But these are some high-level bribes, though, man.
Well, I needed, 5 days, man? Not counting the fucking weekend, so technically 7 days. But yeah, I got it all planned out, and yeah, we're going to grind a little for 10 levels on the Red Mage, and then shoot it to 70 with the story, for the Stormblood story. I can't wait.
That was a far more elaborate description of your...
Yeah.
Sly and I were just going to be
I'm
like...
going to give her the Verdi. Yes, that's a genius.
That's Virginius.
The wife's going to get the Verdi.
I'm not even the one dying here. It's Burn.
Burn's killing himself.
Yeah,
no, Chad is softly. Amazing. Verdi. Absolutely. Absolutely. The Verdi.
The Verdi.
But this is serious business. You don't have time to fuck around with this stuff.
Then why offer it?
Because I can sit there and play and do my thing. Give it a little...
we all needed that. We all needed
whatever works.
We all needed that visual. So those of you listening on iTunes, I'm just glad,
watch the fucking YouTube.
Be glad you're listening to it on iTunes. There you go. Just remember, your second Verdi is instant cast.
So what?
That was good. That was fucking genius.
I'm gonna give credit to Archaic Rapture for that one in the chat.
That was fucking genius.
So what are your guys' plans? Like, how did you map this all out?
Good transition. Sly?
Mine isn't as elaborate as yours. Probably the day before, so either the 15th or the 14th, I'm definitely going to go shopping. You know, like gamer meal prep. But mine has beer within it too. So beer, Gatorade, that.
That's
then,
not
like,
food, Sly.
Wait. I'm getting to it. You know, a few snacks, and then, you know, future dated orders on Order Up for actual food to come to my house so I don't have to fucking leave. And then I'll pretty much be set. Actual in game, of course, I'm gonna be leveling Goon. Another thing that I've kind of taken the mantle of recently, crafting. Oh, shut the fuck up. I will actually be leveling pretty much a specific crafter because I want to be a pot dealer by the time Omega hits. So I want to be my own pot dealer and then the pot dealer for everybody else so I can make a little bit of money.
So everyone, I want you to remember this right now, that he said this, and when he has not touched his fucking alchemist, please give him shit.
No. You can't really give me shit because pretty much every stream I've done 14 in the past few weeks has been crafting. You can't give me shit. I have eaten through all my levs. Shut the fuck up. I'm leveling these shits.
How long did it take you after how much promising before you finally fucking did that?
It was eventually going to happen, but I had to get through P5. Jesus. Y'all are still giving me shit, even though I have actually leveled my crafters, and now I just have the hardcore level because I have no levs left. And then, just to kind of shut up the rage, I'll actually level White Mage. Yeah.
So your plan is Dragoon, Alchemist, White Mage.
Yep. Fuck Samurai. I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I haven't even penciled in my goldsmithing, so I have no idea where that's going to go.
Goldsmithing would be the best thing to do, but I want to make my pots.
It's the only profession I think I have capped at 60 and with all the specialist stuff simply because it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about a gatherer, Sly, so you can get all those new materials? What about botanist, so you can get the fucking shit to actually make the potion?
You know, the majority of the reason that I'm broke half the time is because I use the money over time method in terms of crafting. Probably going to do that half the time. So, yeah, maybe I'll throw in a gatherer or two.
All right. I just know that I'm going to be paying very close attention to what we have accomplished during early access for our show on June 20th.
Okay, then, Lil Mike, what are you doing?
So I have a very special event planned for early access. The 24/7 Stormblood launch party. The stream will be live for 24 hours, 7 days a week, for 1 week. Implies the 24/7. I'll be streaming. Mel will take over if necessary, and we're even flying one of our mods, Tequila Shots, over to take some hours. We're going to set him up with a computer in the living room so he can play when he's not streaming, and going to make sure to show him a little bit of San Diego whenever I'm streaming. Mel's going to show him around San Diego.
Is there going to be an actual camera of you passed out?
No, so I don't know what I look like when I sleep, so I don't think we're going to do that. And besides, I like to sleep like in just my boxers, so if I have to sleep in clothes, it's going to be bad.
Fair point.
What are you making that look for, Burn?
Because I'll be
I just had to watch you air hump. You don't get to make that face at me anymore. You literally
don't call him Big Daddy for nothing. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so no camera on me while I sleep. I'm gonna try to. I'll probably do like short sleeps and then like medium length streams as opposed to like.
I think those are called naps.
No,
I'm pretty sure there's
a nap
for
is like a nap is like.
Wait. Are we talking about like a little Albert Einstein 20-minute, 15-minute nap and then get back on?
That's a nap. 4 or 5 hours of sleep is not a fucking nap. Unless it's
yes, the fuck it is.
That's 90% of America's entire sleep schedule is about 5 hours. So bullshit. That's a night's sleep for a lot of people. For me, I need my 8 hours, man, or I can't do it, man. I got a complexion to keep up, dude. I got to make sure I get all the sleep that I can get. So that's part of that, the 24/7. As for my personal goals.
Mm-hmm.
I will be doing my monk 60 to 70 first. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to get that done. I'm going to have guides for all the dungeons by the time early access is done.
So there's going to be a content creation stream within that.
I'll be uploading, I'll be killing it and then doing kind of like a rough overview over it to hold people over before the officially structured one is out. So there will be content creation streams, yes. Same with the hard mode primals. I'm very much sure I'll be done with the extreme primals before Tuesday as well. A quick video letting people see where all the new NPCs are to unlock everything. And then a level 70 sort of monk overview of how I feel about it. I want to immediately go into samurai because I want to just get both jobs that share gear to 70 so I don't have to carry all that gear until I actually level samurai. Otherwise, I would probably be doing Paladin next just for the sake of seeing how it's improved, which will be the third job that I do. I'm also going to level my desynthesis fast as fuck. I'm saving up gear now to level it as soon as the cap is lifted. I'm going to buy all the fucking gear from the vendors, power level that shit up to max ASAP because I made fucking millions off of desynthesis at the end of the expansion. I'm going to make millions going into the expansion. That's the goal, make some millions, And mining. And those are my goals. I've got
in between your short sleeves.
Yeah.
I actually subscribed to this thing called Freshly not too long ago, where it's basically they cook you a full meal and then they send it to you without freezing it. They just refrigerate it. And then you just heat it up when you want it. And on top of that, we're going to have some other foods in the house and whatnot. It's been really good. I've been replacing ordering out with it. Because I was someone who was ordering out like every day because I just didn't have time to cook. Even if it's something healthy, it still saves money. So I use it as a meal replacement in a sense.
Fuck that, I'm getting wings.
Oh, now I want wings.
I'm getting wings tonight, actually.
I'm getting them as soon as this is over.
Yeah, no, I told Mel I was ordering wings as soon as the show was over before.
Damn it, Sly.
It's been a while since
I've had wings. Fuck that Freshly bullshit, even though you do need it. Because, goddamn, all your short sleep and shit, you do need a healthy meal.
I will.
My fat ass, I'm going to have beard wings.
Yeah, I'm calling an order to BW3 as soon as this show's over.
Don't you mean BW3s?
B-dubs.
I hate all of you. I hate all of you so much. All right, good. So those are our early access plans. Now we have everyone's scaling for that. So there was one other. I don't think we've seen an English post for this next topic yet. I'm gonna check the dev blog real quick for Final Fantasy 14. Just so, yeah, I don't see anything. So I'm gonna have to kind of pull from what I can from the Japanese dev blog. But there was a post elaborating some of the changes coming to PvP that I want to go over with the show. Sly, what are you making a face for me?
I'm not making a face for anything. I'm hyped about this shit.
I'm sure you are. Because, it's funny because of the job they specifically chose regarding the Japanese dev blog. Of all the jobs they could have chosen, they spoke about White Mage for the entirety of it. Yeah. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the elaborations on the PvP changes that are coming to Final Fantasy. Are you all right there, Brent? You haven't said anything in a while.
That's why I'm fucking laughing right now.
I didn't know PvP was going to be talked about, and I'm,
Yeah, you're into it. We have PvPs on every show you're on. You know that, right, Bern?
Yeah, I can't, for the fucking love of me, figure out why.
Well, I mean, like I said, it couldn't be a Mr. Burns show without bringing up PvP. Anyway, so one of the big things that's being talked about is the complete separation of skills. So people don't really know. We only got to see Dragoon's skills slide. Yours is the only one we really got to see at Live
I'm happy.
36.
I'm happy.
He's happy. So we don't need to talk about the Dragoon anymore. They chose to talk about White Mage of all the jobs that's
because it's been getting shit on. That's why.
They're like, oh, well, that's not the entire reason. The person who made the post, I think it's Project Manager M, who did it. He actually is a main White Mage. So Is he happy? You know, that's a good question.
Is he happy?
That was a good question. How does Project Manager M feel about the White Mage?
Have you seen a picture of him lately?
No. So anyway, so when it comes to, so actually we haven't gotten, this is another thing we didn't get to talk about earlier with Burns. So before we actually tackle the White Mage things, how do you feel about the separation of PvP skills, Burn? Because I don't know, because you've been very critical of Final Fantasy XIV's PvP in the past. You're not a big fan of it. You don't think it belongs in a Final Fantasy game. Feels it's tacked on. We acknowledge this. We're not trying to make you like it, Burn.
No, it's not. I don't feel belongs in a Final Fantasy game. I don't feel belongs in this particular game.
Listen, you played 11. You know PvP. You've played 11. You know PvP doesn't belong in Final Fantasy games.
That's
okay?
true. That's true.
Yeah, exactly. So how do you feel? Wait a minute.
Look at what you do to me.
He's back on the wagon, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we did. Sorry.
So two things. One, last time you said you're not supposed to be smoking in the house, and now you're smoking in the house again. The second thing, I'm pretty sure at the start of the show you said you quit smoking.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't know PvP was going to be in this shit.
Okay.
I don't think that's in the program for quitting smoking. I don't think that there's a part there with where
it's step 13, bitch. If PvP is talked about, you are allowed to smoke.
Isn't that the whole point, to get you to stop?
No, not when we talk about PvP.
All right. Well, Burn's smoking again, guys. That's all right. There you go.
Yeah.
So the complete separation of skills. Now that you've thinned your blood a little bit and calmed down.
All right. So very quickly, my thoughts on this. First off, can we talk about the level reduction first?
Yes, absolutely.
I think that's kind of a bigger.
Yes, absolutely. If that'll get you actually talking about it, then yes, we can do that first.
All right. The level reduction is smart from a player-based standpoint. I would be very pissed off if I could not access my certain elements of my PvE content unless I was relegated to being forced into PvP content to open it up. So it makes sense to me, some of these tier reduction movements as far as level 50, now, level 30 and stuff like that. Is still not ideal for the people that really want to play Final Fantasy XIV for PvP. Who the fuck are those people? If you really want to play...
You'd be surprised.
So I can understand that. I can appreciate it. I can also appreciate the skills switching to PvP exclusive. It makes it much easier to balance. Maybe not much easier because they can balance at any point, but it makes it faster to implement those types of changes without having to drastically consider the impacts to PvE and certain things. So I can appreciate all of these large global scale changes. The two concerns I would have is that, one, the hot dogs in PvP right now, I think, are probably feeling a little about some of these changes, simply because they have invested the time to become skilled with all of these damn skills and all these situations and things. I can see on the other side, though, people like myself that would never PvP. This would definitely make it more accessible So there's going to be a lot more noobs in there too. And then the gear change as well helps. I mean, it's all about accessibility to me. Is all of these changes just make it infinitely more accessible without having to grind to a level cap that you don't want to participate in anyway, get certain gear so that you can be competitive, learn, whatever, 20, 30 different skills. I can appreciate all of this, but I don't care.
Yeah, that pretty much answered my next question. You say it seems accessible, but does that mean you'll actually, dip your toes in the water and,
Nope. And to answer chat's question, who is this crackhead? I'm Mike Magickmann Burn, bitches.
All right. Well, since you brought up the level reduction, since you only have to be level 30 now to enter, it'll equalize everything. It was confirmed you will be able to gain experience points for your job through PvP. If you queue in at level 30, win the match, lose the match, whatever, you get some experience points. Now, considering they literally had a slide that said PvP is not PvE, as much as I
was stunned that they came to this realization.
I had kind of written off us getting experience points as much as it kind of made sense to me, especially because you don't want someone at level 30 with how drastically different PvP is to do 30 to 70 with PvP and then get to 70 and it's like, wait, how come my button isn't automatically changing to the next skill? I don't understand anymore. This isn't how it worked for 40 levels. It's no better than Palace of the Dead where they spam one fucking skill anyway. I'm just saying. But were you surprised with how much they said PvP is not PvE? They are not relatable.
No, and I think they probably wanted to do this a while ago, but it didn't make sense to do it mid-expansion. To be honest, if looking at PvP, and just you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, because it's just cursory knowledge of the PvP scene. It's the section of the patch notes I skip most of the time, besides if there's something in particular I just want to look at. To me, all throughout 3.0, while you've had some mild tweaks here and there, and you got a new map and feast and all that fun stuff, there hasn't been a ton of trying to really, really balance this stuff. And I think 4.0 makes a good, or an expansion in general, makes a good point for this type of massive overhaul of everything, rather than trying to cram it into the middle of an update when they were still technically launching the feast inside 3.0 anyway. So it makes sense to me. I'm not surprised to hear them say this is the way we want to treat this, because I think it's the way they always wanted to treat it, but PvP was always lagging behind in implementation. And then when it was all implemented, everything they wanted to implement, it really didn't make sense to do the balancing sweeps or the massive changes at that time. Let's just push it all to 4.0. I think PvP players are probably on a scale of being much happier with these changes than the number of people that are disappointed with these changes. But there is the concern of, there's going to be a lot of noobs in there now. And just from reading on the forums and happy your own videos and stuff, there are a lot of people that just generally don't PvP that are saying this is enough to get them to try it, which is exactly what Squeenix wants.
Except you.
Except me.
Yeah,
the only way they could change it to make me play it is to take it out, and then it wouldn't matter. So
I thought you were gonna say that that they have to come to your house and light the cigarette in your mouth for you, like Yoshi P himself has to show it up. If Yoshi
P showed up at my doorstep and was just like, please look forward to it, try it, I would say hi, and I would try it.
I was gonna say, because he's a smoker, man.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah,
yeah, he is.
Every second he's got.
If that happens, I'll play a round or two of PvP. But until that happens, it's just not for me. Not in this particular game. I don't feel it's particularly fluid in this game, even with these changes. It just doesn't appeal to me. And PvP really has to grab me for me to even be interested, because I'm just not generally into it as a concept in any game.
Well, I think it goes back to them going the whole esports route.
Oh yeah, it's MOBAfied out the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the changes, a lot of the individual changes that they made to to skills the way it kind of seems. It kind of feels a little skill tree like, but not exactly skill tree like. It's
like a skill tree that is, instead of you building up a tree and it growing, you're just plucking the leaves that you think look.
Yeah, you're cherry picking the shit that you need.
You're grabbing the apple. You're grabbing the apples that look ripe and ripe enough for you.
And to me, these changes, like the whole esports centric aspect of it, I think will make the more serious PvP scene a lot more competitive, in my opinion.
I hope so. I'm of the idea that less actions is better for PvP because your decision making. All the most successful PvP games always less actions, more impact per action.
Right.
And they are going for that in spades. Before I continue with my point, though, Byrne, you look like you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I remember, I don't know if it was the last time I was on or two times we were on. It was just after Yoshi P's interview talking about how they were considering esports, and all three of us were
fucking saying that since the fold.
All three of us were like, are you fucking kidding me? This is so ridiculously unbalanced. I mean, you can't make this an esport. And now you look at what they're doing and you're like, okay, maybe they are a little serious about trying to push this into that venue and see where it goes. I don't think it would be remarkably competitive on that front, just because of my knowledge of the esports scene for what I do with MMO Bomb. But it's certainly more in line with, we want to get it to that extent at some point. And so now it doesn't seem as foolish to say that as it did, when I was on 2 or 3 episodes ago and we talked about that interview.
Esports. I'm not like, even now, I look at this and I still go, no, it doesn't, it's just, no, it's like, you can do some stuff for fun, but not like esports, like tons of games hold like an esports tournament on Twitch or something. And, it's whatever. It's fun. People who are into it, watch it and what, but it's not like, you're not going to be like a StarCraft or a Smite or a League or a... No, just moderate esports. Just, you have your own...
I just go back to something I say every time I read a press release for something. Not every game needs to be a fucking esport. Not every game needs to try. Not every game has to have PvP. Not every game has to have PvE. You don't have to cram everything into one game. I get why you're doing it, but you end up with this hodgepodge of, we've had PvP since 2. Whatever, and it's kind of been a mess until 4.0, and we haven't even seen if that's going to fix it yet. Whatever.
All right, both of you.
It's what you're good at.
Both of you say that, but had they not gone the route of esports, do you think we would have seen the changes to PvP?
I don't know. Is that a second cigarette?
Fuck, I hate this part.
God damn it.
Why do you have me on shows and put PvP on the damn notes?
Why do they keep talking about PvP when I want you on the shows?
Why do you do this to me?
It's not my fault I ask you to be on the show.
Nobody cares about my opinion of PvP and Final Fantasy. They already know.
They didn't know your opinion on that last little bit right there.
Yeah.
I make good points, though. At least give me that.
You make good points. Okay. Can you repeat that? I was so busy watching him light the second cigarette, Sly. I'm going to need you to repeat that.
I don't know. It might trigger him again.
Trigger.
Had they not gone the route of esports, do you think we would have seen these changes to PvP?
Yeah. I think no matter what.
You think all this still would have happened?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think it
had to. Something big had to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I don't think there's any way around making this degree of change to PvP, because otherwise it remains the way it is now. And there's still some things that they haven't said they're doing that I would like them to say they're doing. I still think we need decay in ranked so people feel motivated to do it on a frequent enough basis, because I feel like if you don't have ranks decaying, if you don't play, people just get as high as possible, and then if no one can contend for it, then fuck it, they win, which is what has happened every season thus far, pretty much. Big thing,
that's all I had.
The big thing is the way PvP skills are being separated is not simply in the skills, it's also in the way calculations are done. So they decided to share a little bit with us about White Mage. And it's
Did you
weird.
see the 5.0 expansion name drop? Did you see that?
What is it?
It's Just the Feast, bitches. That's all. That's the title of 5.0.
Just the Feast,
Just the
bitches?
Feast, bitches.
What's the Japanese version of that title?
You're asking the wrong guy.
I don't know. So for some reason, I feel like I'm asking the right guy.
There's no PvE.
They just get rid of it.
Yep. They have new jobs that are PvP only.
Well, I mean, we're going down to 2 dungeons every even-numbered patch and 1 dungeon every odd-numbered patch. So we'll just go down to 0. We're already on that track as it is. So, you know, they're just going to skip ahead a few expansions and just do it right away. Okay. So we got a bunch of examples about White Mage. And I'm not going to lie. I feel like they actually put more thought into the Lily system for PvP than they did for PvE. So I'd like to remind everyone that when we talk about numbers for PvP, 1 potency is equal to 1 healing or damage. So if something is 5,000 potency, it heals for 5,000 flat, which is one of the other changes that people may or not know about. So Cure 2 is a potency of 5,000. And
sorry.
It's not.
I thought it was a type. I thought it was a typo at first.
No, it's got a potency of 5,000. Jump has a potency of like 3,000 or something like that. So yeah, it's the numbers are big, man. They're big numbers. And on top of that, it has a 100% chance to proc a Lily in PvP. Which, by the way, yes, you have lilies in PvP. Fucking come on. So anyway, however, the Lily system in PvP reduces your cooldown by like 50 fucking %. 3 lilies in PvP for a White Mage reduces the cooldown of any skill that qualifies by 50. 50, half of its original cooldown. So if something's a 60-second cooldown, then now it's a 30-second cooldown. That's big. Can we get that in PvE so people stop complaining?
I knew you were going there.
There you go. Yeah. And that includes Divine Benediction gets the cooldown reduction from it. Those are just a couple, but they only have 9 skills, so it's not like they have a whole lot.
Yeah, and that was going to be my next question. If you only have 9 skills, how many of those skills are going to qualify for the off-global cooldown, which is if there's 2, well, okay, well, yay.
Yeah. And on top of that, again, in a bubble that looks really fucking cool, but we still don't know how it actually affects PvP.
Right.
And especially in PvP, you don't have a set rotation. So again, it is a more reactive. You can choose when to be using lilies, but even though if you still need to panic use a Benny, you're gonna panic use a Benny. Sly, what are you doing?
I'm convinced, fuck everything I said before. I'm convinced now with all this information that they are really just trying to fuck with White Mages. They don't even give a shit anymore. Everything, they consolidated the forums and shit. Fuck everything I just said. Earlier in the show. Fuck everything I just said. You have every right now to fucking baby rage all you want. Fuck all this. They are really fucking with you at this point. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Look how great it looks in PvP, guys. No, PvE doesn't work like that. Just remember that.
I apologize.
5,000 potency, remember, that's 5,000 healing. That's not 20 fucking million health that you're healing over there. You know what's really fucking funny for me? The way Protect works in PvP. The way Protect works in PvP, if you made that White Mage exclusive in PvE, it'd be considerably better. Protect is a health barrier. It's somewhat akin to, it's flat damage reduction. It's not a health barrier for a limited amount of time. So I gotta double check that. I can't remember which one it is, but I know they have Divine Bench, which is still the shield. And I like Protect better in PvP than I like it in PvE, because it's not just something every fucking healer takes, because why wouldn't you want the defense and the magic defense? There's actual thought behind the use of this Protect. Do you think we could get White Mage can we just change Protect? Don't make it cross roll anymore. Just give that to White Mage. That's the cool thing. And then they got that, and it's way better. Oh, that's right. It's not divine benching. It's benison. But that makes me want to eat a deer. So I'm going to keep calling it benching. All right. There you go. Do you guys think that these kind of PvP changes almost kind of make you the reverse jealous and make you kind of wish you had these kind of things in PvE? Not the one. Not the one button combo thing, by the way. Fuck that.
Go ahead, Burn. Go ahead, please.
I'm sorry. I'm looking. Wolf. I've already been. The Verdi is already on Twitter. I'm sorry. You guys were talking about PvP, so I totally was just checking Twitter and shit. And I guess the Wolf has.
Wow, thanks, man.
Memed me into the Verdi. So
welcome to being on State of the Realm when Wolf is watching.
Yeah.
The Verdi is trending. Hashtag Verdi.
I got nothing.
So what was your question?
These things we're talking about for White Mage for PvP.
Right.
Do you think they provide more interesting gameplay choices than White Mage actually got for PvE?
Yes.
Fuck yes.
Depending on how many abilities out of your 9 the lilies actually impact, yes. Absolutely.
Feels like as many as PvE based on the number. Benediction, it doesn't even work on in PvE. So that's one thing worth mentioning. So, yeah. I don't know. I want to know.
You think they kind of made a mistake?
They mixed them
You think
up.
they kind of made a mistake and everything they got in PvP they were supposed to get in PvE, and then it was supposed to be the other way around in PvP?
Listen, if they had 50% CDR, I might actually be okay with the Lily system as it is. But that would also be stupid. Imagine in a size, because whenever you crit Cure 1 or Cure 2, a size or Asylum loses 5 seconds on their cooldown. So it's like, imagine you'd literally be like a size, yeah. Like fucking ever, and I'd be like, I'm down with that, dude. I'd say, you know how much MP I got right now?
Part of me thinks this is just a Yoshi P troll. Like it's just opposite day, and once we get early access, everything that we see for PvP,
we're gonna only have 9 skills in PvE, and we're gonna have 40 skills in PvP. It's gonna be the opposite.
Yeah, pretty much. But those 9 skills will be OP as shit, though.
That's true.
Yeah. It'll be better than the 40 you got as a fucking regular PvE White Mage. This just throws salt in the wound. I don't get why they decided to one, showcase the one job that's been getting a lot of shit these past couple of weeks, and 2, make the job better in PvP than it is in PvE. Like,
that's if you're a white mage. If you're a white mage, that means you're a hardcore PvPer. That's what it means now.
Yeah, that's why I can never find.
Remember how I told y'all to calm your tits? Yeah, remember how I told all the white mages to calm your tits?
You also told them it was okay to baby rage.
I just said that. It's okay to baby rage now. And as for calming your tits, let your tits go crazy. I don't give a fuck anymore. Like they just.
Can I get that on a shirt? Let your tits go crazy. Feels like a 90s song.
That's kind of turning me on. Let your tits go crazy.
Just let your tits go crazy. Well, listen, we've seen.
Let your tits go crazy.
Sorry, you want to say that one more time?
Yes.
Yes, you can lose your shit. Like, pretty much I've lost my shit. Like, just from this shit alone. Like, my whole argument earlier, fuck that. I'm pissed for you now.
Redacted.
I love me some crazy tits.
He's still on that. He hasn't moved on.
I love it.
Oh, man. There was some other stuff that's brought up. They're replacing Sprint with the PvP skill Dash. So that's one of the skills. So you have to choose Dash. You don't just have it. So if you want to sprint, you got to take that as one of your additional skills. You can't just run away because sprint. You don't have it. You got to take that shit. And then on top of that, they can select passives like 25% more MP, 25% more HP, more MP, TP, recovery, shit like that. They got a bunch of choices here. I'm not going to go over what's meta because I don't think Burn could survive that conversation. Nor would I be...
It's still PvP.
It's PvP meta.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Don't make him go back to the pack, damn it.
Make him go back to the pack. Back to the pack.
If the name
Samurai
of the show
Jack
on YouTube is not Crazy Tits and the Verdi, then you're naming your shows incorrectly. That's all
Pretty
I have
much.
Crazy Tits and the Verdi. You know what? That could be the subtitle.
Yes. I love this game.
And then there's the quick little picture of some of the new PvP sets, which look pretty swag. Even though gear doesn't matter in PvP anymore, they're still going to reward you more gear.
All cosmetic now.
All cosmetic.
Yep.
It's like actual like. I hope it has no stats on it. Like if I grab PvP gear, and it's still useful for PvE, even though they've done this whole PvE PvP separation thing, and the new gear has stats. I don't know, man.
I'm still mad that they really did not get rid of morale. Like, why is that still a thing in PvP?
I don't know. They didn't say that. We don't know. I mean, you mean up till now?
Yeah, because
before Stormblood.
Before Stormblood.
Oh yeah, why do we still have it now? Like I don't know. With some gearing options, it can be okay. It's just that it's very select. It opens up a few extra gearing options, but it's kind of dumb on 230 shit.
And then they never mentioned removing it in general, I don't think.
You know what? I got to look at the character sheet from the media tour, but I don't remember seeing it. So
okay.
That's all I have to say about it. It literally can't serve a purpose because there's no gear in PvP. It's actually a dead stat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's not.
Yeah, that's all I have to say on. That's all I have to say on PvP. I don't want to trigger burn anymore.
Trigger.
I do have a question though. Maybe you guys can answer this. What does this do to PvP materia?
Who gives a shit? No one.
Who gives a fuck?
PvP
Nobody
materia hasn't done anything in ages.
Okay, I have no idea. That's why I asked. Sorry, damn, I didn't mean to offend.
Worthless. It's
Great.
Worthless, Burn.
God damn, I'm sorry for offending you.
Woosah. All right, there we go.
I think we've all gotten triggered this episode. Yeah.
We're triggered.
We're triggered.
Yeah. There you go. I said it like 8 times, but Burn's still recovering from the fact that we just talked about PvP. So his brain is, little fried. Look at his face. Like, just look at it.
All right, I think I'm better.
Damn it! I was just gonna zoom in on your face. You ruined it. Timing. But that's going to be it. I mean, those are all the major topics from this last week. We covered our plans for early access, which is less than 2 weeks away.
I got one more question for Burn because we haven't gotten his take on this yet. Now that we know jump potions exist, they're in the game. How do you feel about them? I've already said my piece. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a general problem with them. It's not something I would buy. I don't buy them in games that I'm dabbling in and enjoying for, MMO bomb for the free-to-play games. I wouldn't buy it. I think the only ones I've gotten in any game, whether it was sub-based or not, were the ones that they ran some login promotion, like WildStar ran a weekend. If you logged in, they gave you a boost. I logged in and claimed that. And I've done it in some other games where they give them away. Guild Wars was another one. We got it with the expansion, right? So, okay, yeah, I grabbed that. And I don't think I ever used it. So I'm not. It's really hard for me to say fuck that. The way Final Fantasy XIV's PvE is structured, where you have to go through everything to open the next thing, to open the next thing, to open the next thing. It's hard for me to begrudge somebody for saying, I don't want to play this meaningless content just so I can open up this stuff. It's bad enough in a game where you're saying, just go level. And once you reach a level, you could do the stuff your friends are doing because they've been playing for 2 years. But it's not even like that in Final Fantasy XIV. You have to go through this story and have to do this. So it's hard for me to begrudge somebody wanting to shell out a couple of bucks and Square Enix wanting to make a couple of bucks, realizing the way they've built their game. Saying, you know what, I don't want to run through all this story shit through A Realm Reborn or Heaven's Word. I would rather just jump in and be slightly behind my friends and not have days and days and days of 2.3, 2.35, 2.4 3.1 story to catch up on. I'm out leveling this shit fast because I'm trying to catch my friends, but I'm still hindered by the story stuff that I have to do. So I can't begrudge anybody that stuff. If you want to spend the money and you've got the disposable income to do so, more power. I'll see you when we start raiding together.
Oh, you're gonna raid with them?
Why not?
That's a good question. That's a really fucking good question because I've already said my piece about the whole.
Yeah. I mean, I understand. I've watched the show. I understand some of the points you made, Sly, about, you know, you learn your character and how it interacts with parties and stuff like that. But I'll tell you what, if I gave you a 60 right now and we spent 2 or 3 weeks running dungeons, chances are the two of us have talked about, I've caught you up. You're a friend of mine. I'm helping you do this. It doesn't take that long to learn the rotations and stuff like that. It does maybe take a little longer to become extra good or proficient at them, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. That's what the dungeons are for, and we're going to be running plenty of those for gear anyway. I'm not worried about getting some noob in a raid that paid for a character and gained 10 levels, and now they think they're a raiding superstar. That stuff will work itself out. Don't worry about that. It's a game. Have fun, and don't begrudge somebody else for spending a couple extra bucks and wanting to catch up to you a little bit faster so that they could play with you. I'm kind of just, everybody have fun. It's
no, it invalidates my experience, Burn.
Oh, come on. And if my friend sucks, I'm going to help him get better. And if he still really sucks, then we're going to have to work on some stuff. But, you know, hey, it's a fucking game. And don't forget how blessed all of us are. I know this sounds cheesy, but I say it all the time on MMO Bum. Don't forget how blessed all of us are. The 800 people in chat, the people that are going to watch this on YouTube, that we have the type of life where we can sit around and bitch about a video game. Never lose sight of that.
It invalidates my experience, ruining my immersion. Clearly, I'm the only one who matters here. That's sarcasm for anyone who doesn't speak people. Just so you know. Like,
didn't know that was the language.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes with the internet and people speak differently. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, you gotta be a little bit clear. I just translated it, you know, just to make sure. Where /s, you know.
Understood.
People understand that /s. That's Reddit lingo right there.
Your friend told you he doesn't care about rotations. Well, then whether your friend bought a potion or not, that has no impact on that.
Friend doesn't care about rotations. Remind him he lives on Earth.
Earth
rotates.
Ver rotation, bitches.
There we go. Okay. On that note, though, I think we can wrap up the show, move on over into a post show, and then I can order wings. I didn't forget about those wings. I knew I was. I
didn't either.
Happening.
My mouth is fucking watering.
All right, Burn, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you at, my man? Thank you for joining us this week.
Oh, that's always a
pleasure. Thank you so much.
Haps, Sly, you are two of the coolest people in the 14 universe, and there's a ton of other names that they're not here, so I don't have to thank them, but you know I love all the Final Fantasy 14 content creators and follow all of your stuff. You can follow me personally on Twitter at Magickmann1. That's Magickmann and the number 1. Of course, for other video game stuff, you can follow mmobomb.com, where I'm the editor-in-chief. We do the First Look videos, a weekly podcast, a weekly recap show, and all the news and giveaways and stuff in the world of free-to-play gaming. So if you would give the YouTubes there a thumbs up, a like, a sub, and all that fun stuff, and obviously on Twitter at mmobomb, it would be much appreciated. But chat, to you most of all, it's always a pleasure. I love being on the show. Thanks.
And thank you for joining us, Sly. What about you? Where can they find you?
The usual.
All right, and you can also find me at the usual. All right, now I guess fuck off because we're not doing real outros anymore.
Twitch.tv/Slyakagreyfox, Twitter at Slythefox, Slyakagreyfox07 on Instagram, Facebook Slyakagreyfox, YouTube.com/The Velvet Room. Pretty much not leaving my house starting next Friday, so yeah.
Oh yeah, we did an entire show without a steak joke.
Oh, Versteak.
Wow.
Versteak.
Wow.
Steak of the realm. Stake of the motherfucking realm. And I'm the last guy, Mr. Happy. You can find me, Mr. Happy 1227, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. All of those places, I'm there. And I too have been playing Final Fantasy XI because I promised I would do it for my 3-year partnerversary, and it's taking longer than I thought. So I'm still fucking playing it, despite the fact that I was like, nah, I'll just play it for a few days. I'll get through all the story. Then I realized making a new character, it's going to take me a while to get through the main story of everything. Finished Xylart, COP, almost Rhapsodies, but got a way to go still, unfortunately. But anyway, we're going to move on over into the post-show. One thing I will say real quick. So next week's show, I'm not going to say what it is just yet, because we're going to have to do it on Sunday, mind you, because I will be at E3 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then come back Thursday. So the next show will be on Sunday. And that'll be kind of our last little, hey, it's happening kind of show.
Did you have to do the hand waves?
Yeah,
hey.
it's happening.
Woo.
There you go. But I do want to announce a show that's currently in the planning for July.
Do you really want to announce this right now?
Yes.
Like, I thought you want to play this close to the chest, but
no. Because I gotta.
Heard you wanted to play this close to the crazy tits.
No. I just wanted to get confirmation on it because it's been a long requested show, Sly. But July 11th is the official day that we've locked this show down for. It's something people have been asking for a
long time.
For a very, very long time. July 11th, State of the Realm will officially be Bully of the Realm.
Bully of the Realm.
As we will be joined by Xeno to talk about his final
It's happening,
prep.
folks. It's happening.
That's a week.
The dream.
That's a week before Savage comes out. So we're gonna get him a week before Savage comes out, and we're gonna do a discussion about the way the kind of meta is already evolving pre-Savage, where we think we'll go in Savage, and plans for the raid show. So it will officially be a bully of the realm show. So just gonna put that out there. We'll have more details at a later date. But he said, "Fuck yeah, man," when I asked him.
That sounds about right.
That's so. I think we can consider that confirmation that a show will be happening for that. All right. On that note, let's go over to the post show. Thank you everyone for joining us this week. We will see you on Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific, as opposed to Tuesday. See you guys then. Until then, bye bye.
Let your tits go crazy.
There you go. Let your tits go crazy, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna not end the show until you're done making that face.
No, I don't want to see gentlemen crazy tits.
That's a great way to end the show. You making a fish face and no.
No.